We should be live now. And I'll double check. Yep. And we'll go live. There we go.
Oh yeah, I see it. I see it. I'm watching now, and I can hear us.
Well, that's not good for anybody.
Yeah, poor people. They don't want to hear this shit.
All right. Gentlemen, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. All right. Before I get into anything, first of all, again, I'm going to do my usual. Sorry, it's been a while. One of the weeks was my fault, I think. Yes, one was definitely my fault. I bailed. I bailed. But then I think Kevin also had a week where where he had a thing. So this time it's not totally my fault. So uh, and to make up for that, I'm going to keep tonight nice and short because I'm still tired and because I have a child that refuses to let me get a full night of sleep ever since she started daycare. She just keeps bringing things home, and she's like fine. She's not like too sick, but what happens is she basically, because she's kind of sniffly and coughing, she always wants to like crawl into bed with us, and
Yeah.
which means that she crawls into bed, turns over, like so she's
Coughs in your
facing me,
face,
Just
and proceeds to
smears
cough
everything
in my
everywhere.
face until the
Mhm.
sun comes up.
Yeah.
and
Yep.
you know, once when you're asleep, she's like no spelunking and giving you some of the rewards that she finds. Like I'm sure in the morning you might
Ugh.
not know it, but you got a couple of fresh boogers in that beard.
Oh, I'm sure. I woke up one in the morning with my eyes like completely just crusted over, and I know that had something to do. I know she was responsible. Like literally, just like ice, just like caked up with like the just randomly. It was disgusting.
Pink eye.
Um,
Ick.
no, thankfully it wasn't pink eye. It only lasted one day. But anyway, so I'm coping with all that by drinking this delicious. I'm winding it up tonight. I got my Pinot. And you know it's classy because they didn't waste any money. I'm sorry, they
Wow.
invested all the money in the wine, and they saved money by not including a cork.
Yeah,
Nothing says
well,
quality unless you have to unscrew it to pour it.
that's you know what, that's an improvement for you. Normally, I think you get your wine in Tetra packs, don't you?
Dude, this one cost more than $3. This one was
I
like
was gonna
all of
say,
like this one was about like $10.
Wow, was it
Yeah.
bonus time at work or something?
These days not getting fired is a bonus at work, so it's going to be that time.
Yeah, it's
Mm,
just right around the holidays.
yeah, that's right.
Here you go, spend some extra time with your family.
Yeah, there you go. Jerry, what are you having besides a fancy new flannel shirt?
Yeah. I went to virtual Coles right before the podcast.
Nice.
I'm just having uh, uh, Coke with happy juice in it. So
Oh, okay. Kevin, what flavor coffee are you drinking?
actually, I finished that one, so now I'm just having green tea for the rest of the evening.
Oh, very nice.
Decided
Oh,
I had enough coffee today.
speaking of coffee, since Kevin, I always give you shit about this. Um, I'm gonna get punched in the face for this. But so I was reading online a couple of weeks ago that it's a good idea. Okay, by the way, this isn't verified science. This is totally like something I like saw on Instagram and like on a couple of websites.
Right.
But I read that actually you want to have coffee before you have sex. So apparently, because coffee, like causes increases like blood flow,
Hmm.
it intensifies the experience and makes the entire thing feel better and last longer and do all of that.
Seems biological, at least.
You know what? Even if it's a placebo effect, so far using the scientific method, that shit works.
Hmm.
I usually have a nice stiff drink or something like that, but this time I decided to have some coffee, and I gotta say,
So that
pretty
means
I
good
thought
time. Pretty
I
good
thought
time.
caffeine was vaso constrictor, like a dilator, you know. I mean
Wait, a
No,
dial. It is a
you just said
constrictor.
opposites.
No,
Yeah.
I meant
Yeah.
I meant
I thought it constricts
constrictor,
and dilates. You're
and
I think it
not
actually
not
dilates.
a dilate. Oh, I thought it was the
here's
other
here's
way
the thing.
around.
That's
Like I said,
interesting.
even the things that I've read and watched said, hey, there's no proof of this. They have not done any research. This is just like, hey, technically it does this, so it should work. And as I said, it might have been a placebo effect, but whatever, it worked.
I think it's just coffee trying to sell more coffee. You know, coffee companies trying to sell more
They
coffee.
can't possibly sell me any more coffee. We always go to the store and go, should we get coffee? Are we out of coffee? Should we buy coffee? And then we come back and open up the drawer, and there's just 80 bags of beans. We're just stacking bags of beans at this point. We have enough coffee to last until we die. But now that I'm using a little extra, I might go through that a little faster.
You're right, Jerry. It's a
What?
constrictor.
Oh, well, then it is. Look, all I'm saying is give it a try, and if it works for you. I brought it up because I always make fun of you for drinking coffee for the podcast. So what I'm saying is that it improves performance. So maybe that's why you're so good at podcasting, because you have some coffee. It improves your podcasting performance.
There you
It's a
go.
performance enhancer
Sure.
across the board.
There you
That's
go.
all I'm saying.
Keeps the
Yeah,
head
I'm
going.
over here. I'm over here drinking wine, but I would be much less annoying as a podcaster if I drank some coffee instead. Is my theory. Anyway, that's what I'm here. Okay, Jerry either left or he's just staring at me perpetually with a look of disgust on his face. I can't even tell anymore.
Oh, it does look like it crashed.
Oh, I think all right. So we're without Jerry. Okay. So Kevin, while we wait for Jerry, see, I was gonna go on a rant and everything, but if we gotta wait for Jerry, I guess I'll hold off on my rant. All right, fine. Let's see where he's at right now. Well, he's not responding at all, so it's possible that he just like lost power at his house or his internet went out. I think he
Maybe.
still uses that T-Mobile thing for internet.
Yeah. I think you're
I
right. He
wised up
uses
and finally
both,
got
if
rid
I'm
of that.
not mistaken, but yeah.
Both. Which ones does he use?
The T-Mobile, so like a 5G and a house service.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, one of those is bound to work. Yeah, he said he's having some technical difficulties. But anyway. Well, I mean, we can touch something. So, Kevin, that book you're reading. So, hold on. So, it's part of the, what is it? Children of Time? That's the books. That's the book series you're
Yeah,
currently reading?
yeah.
And you're on book 3?
So I was on book. So I had recommended it.
Okay.
Jerry will return. He's having technical difficulties. So
He should have.
well,
See, he should have had drank coffee. If he had coffee, none of
that's
this would be
right.
happening right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had recommended it not too long ago. I can't remember if it was on the podcast or not, but I'm pretty sure it
Wait,
was
you
actually.
recommended it?
Yeah. So then
But you didn't read it
um
yet.
I was into like the third book. So basically I
Oh, I see.
haven't
Okay.
read it since I introduced it to him. He read all 3 books and got past me. And then he was like,
Oh.
"You fucker, you didn't finish it so I
Yeah.
can talk to you about the whole thing."
Oh, okay. All right.
So now that I did the busting what?
He's trying to get back. I think his Windows
Oh,
decided to update.
wow,
This
that's a
is
blue
why you use.
screen.
Yeah. No, I think, or it might have been just a random Windows
It's
update.
waking up
I'll
from
leave up with it.
I mean, oh, that's possible if it forced.
Yeah, that's possible. No. So Kevin, let me
Anyway.
ask you this.
Mhm.
Since we're talking about books, so I'm very very slowly making my way through Project Hail Mary.
Oh,
Which
cool.
which I mentioned last time, and I said I was really enjoying. Like I'm reading it really slowly. It's literally
Mhm.
like I'm reading like a chapter a night. That I almost look at it like episodically. Like I get in bed, I read a chapter, and then I go to bed, and then I go to sleep. So, um, do you have like a fresh recollection of that book?
Pretty much.
Pretty
I'm pretty
much.
sure I read the whole thing twice, so or
Oh,
listened.
okay. So I really enjoyed it, and I'm still enjoying it overall. But now I'm on the part where he's so I'm halfway. Like I said, I'm about halfway through. So I'm at the part where he's interacting with the alien. Oh, by the way, if
Mhm.
you've never read this book, you probably don't want to listen to this because spoilers.
Yeah.
But I'm at the middle part.
Okay.
Where he's talking to the alien. What's it? Rocky? He names him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that section is dragging like fucking crazy. I think he met the alien something like because I'm reading it on not on a Kindle but like on an e-reader, and it shows you like how many like by percent how far you're like into the book.
Yeah.
And I think he met the alien something around like 25 or 30% like into the book. And I'm past the 50% mark. And they're still at the part where they're trying to teach each other like the language and everything. That part is so drawn out. Holy
I think
crap.
so that's interesting. I mean, let it ride because he does a huge character development with a very odd creatively based alien species. So you
Okay.
almost he works that tension in
Hmm.
as to me the
Yeah.
impact was you cared um oh you build a closer relationship with the alien and I have to stop there.
Okay. All right. No, that's fair. I mean, I'm not giving up on the book. I still really love it. That section feels to me like when he was writing it, it seemed like he was very nervous about, um, like the way the alien that he created. He wanted to make sure that he made it not like a cliche thing that you would find in a lazy sci-fi thing like Independence Day or whatever. Like he really wanted to make sure like he covered all the bases, like what like the way their limbs would work, the way their language
Yeah.
would work, the way the atmosphere would work, the way they would communicate. And he goes into these little intricate details about every little thing, every
Yeah.
little interaction that they have, and he has to make sure, well, like, well,
But
okay,
that's
so
his shtick.
like
That's
we
his
use
like
eyes to see, he uses sound to see.
yeah.
He uses like this to feel, he uses that to feel. Like he sleeps like this, I sleep like that. They somehow like um whatchamacallit, like everything they make is full of like ammonia. And like he made sure like every little intricate detail
Hmm.
had to be specifically different from the way like we've evolved. And that's cool. I do like that, but oh man, he's really like he's really
He's
stretching that part of
embellishing
the
in the
book.
science, like in the biology of it. And actually I'm gonna say that's his appeal. So like as an
Mm.
author, think about The Martian. He every step of the story is like let's say a technological or scientifically backed type of thing. Even though that could be fictitious, it's based on like at least
Yeah,
a cloud of potential almost things. So
right.
almost like scientific breakthroughs, let's say. So he's got it right on the close edge of future science thinking, but he keeps it very structured so that it's believable
Hmm.
even through the deeper stuff. So now
Yeah,
he's got this
he's
very
selling it really well.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So do you are you welcome back? Do you hear us?
Thank you. What
yeah.
was that?
So you're catching us in the middle of Project Hail Mary.
Oh,
Skippy
yeah.
was saying he's not all the way through it, so we're
I'm
only
only at that.
yeah, so we're talking about the alien and he's expressing how it's like a little bit of a slog through the beginning phases of the interaction with the alien
Oh no,
where
it's not even the beginning. It's like way back. Like it is chapter after chapter after chapter after chapter of them like learning about each other, and
think
that's
about it,
cool.
you know,
Like
it's yeah.
yeah, it's really cool. I think maybe it was throwing me off because it feels like some of the other parts of the book were way more like the pacing is off. Like you very quickly got to the part where he's he's piecing together his memories to explain how Project Hail Mary came about and how he became involved. And that felt like it had a very steady like beat, like bum 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 bum. I was a teacher. I had this theory. This woman showed up. We found this trail from the sun to where is it, to Venus? Was it to Venus? Right? Yeah, I think it was to Venus. And
Venus,
then
yeah,
yeah, and then it came to me. We found the astroph. Is it astrophage? Am I pronouncing that right?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I think
and
so.
there's like a concept. There's a very specific. There's a very like sort of like consistent cadence to the story developing, and then he meets the alien, and it just grinds to a halt.
So
And it's
my
like
thought theory on that, I thought he was had fast pace to the fast paced tempo was flashback, and there's quite a bit of it in the
yes,
beginning.
oh yeah.
But he
Well,
still
the whole
has it
thing's a flashback.
throughout. Yeah, and I almost think he went to like telling two stories at the same time, which is like current time where you understand the scope of like what the challenge is, crisis up front, and then he does flashback to give some background. But then,
Hmm.
so the now time in where he's dealing with the ship is where he gets to talk science. The flashback is a lot of background world building, like what's the state of this whole story and why is there a dude in a spaceship in another, you know. So it's like all that stuff. And I thought, to me, I picked up on it and thought it was purposely separate, like flashback fast and current was more scientifically
See what
narrated
you mean? Yeah.
through discovery.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. All right. Yeah, I mean, I'm still really enjoying it. It's a really great book. I just like I said, it was just weird to me how all of a sudden it even felt that The Martian was very again consistent. He just kept like going through the thing through all the steps very very quickly, like from one to two. But yeah, no, it's still a really good book. Like I said, I'm slowly making my way through it. I read about a chapter like a night before I go to bed. It's good. He actually, in a weird way, he reminds me a little bit of, I'm going to butcher his name too, of Chuck Palahniuk a little bit. Um, they write about very, very different things, but the pacing of the book and the way their characters sort of like absorb the world and interact with it is actually eerie similar. That's why I think I enjoy um, Andy Weir. That's his
Hmm.
Yeah.
name. That's
Yes.
why I think I enjoy Andy Weir as much as I do. Like he does remind me of Chuck Palahniuk a little bit in the way he writes.
What did
Like
he
even
write?
even to the fact that like all his chapters end almost on like an exciting like cliffhanger where you're like, oh, I have to know what happens next. You know what I mean? Like he has very short chapters and they all end on a ooh no, I have to keep going kind of thing. Like I have to constantly like force myself to stop at the end of each chapter, and I can't wait to get back to it and see like what happens in the next one. It's really cool. Chuck Palahniuk wrote he wrote well first he wrote Fight Club. That's what I think he's
Oh,
probably
okay.
most famous
Uh-huh.
for. He wrote Survivor, which is arguably his best book. Choke and Lullaby, which I didn't think was that good. And there's something else. Choke, Fight Club, Survivor. There's one book. There's one really, really, really good book that I'm just blanking on it. But if you like Andy Weir, you might want to check out one of his books. Survivor was amazing. They were talking about making a movie out of it. I don't know how it would really work as a movie, and you'd understand that if you read the book. It's just a very strange thing that I don't think would really work as a movie,
Hmm.
but it's pretty cool. I didn't know they made Choke. Actually, his other book, Choke, was made into a movie as well. Um, it was like a smaller movie with fuck, what's his name? Um, he's one of the main actors in the new Argyle movie. He was
Oh, that's right. I
yeah,
wanted to watch that.
yeah. He was in Jerry, help me. What's the space movie you and I both love with Tim
Galaxy
Allen?
Quest? Are
He
you
was
are
in
you
Galaxy
talking
Quest.
about
He was the ensign. He was the guy who thought he was the sidekick that's going to get killed all the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you.
wow, why you've infected me
I
and I
know
can't
it's
remember
Sam something.
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell. Yeah, so Choke is with him, and it's really it's really fucking good. It's a little different from the book as most of it is. Like Fight Club is actually different from the book, but it's still really good. Hmm.
I might have to check them out.
Oh, Chuck Palahniuk is great. Also, his books are incredibly easy to read. They're relatively short, and you'll just fucking blast through it. You might. I don't think you'll like Lullaby, but you can try it. I don't know. I thought his Lullaby was a little weird. Just to give you a setup for it, Lullaby is basically about a the the book starts off by a guy finding out that he learns a poem that if you say it out loud to someone, they die. And as the book progresses, he learns more about it, and the more he tries to learn about it, the more powerful he becomes in the way he uses it. So at some point, like in the beginning, it has to be a thing where he has to like say it out loud to somebody for them to drop dead. But as he gets stronger, even if he like recites the poem in his mind without saying it out loud, like everybody around him like dies.
Oh my god, I have such an erection right now. That would be like, oh, if I had that power, I'd be
No,
like
it's
on the middle of the, driving. Like, did you just fucking cut me off? To be like, poem,
lullaby.
poem, 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 blow. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it actually becomes, yeah. So that's the thing. Like, without spoiling anything, it like builds and builds and builds, and it also does the same thing where it does sort of flashbacks. So you find out something about the way that the story begins. I don't know how to say without spoiling it.
Yeah,
Like, there's
then
a
don't.
setup.
But why does it sound like something I wouldn't like?
No, it's really good. I love his books. I
No,
absolutely love Chuck
okay.
Palahniuk. He wrote, if you really want to, years ago, actually, I sent you a short story by him that is called, uh, crap, I don't remember what it's called. Um, it's a really fucked up story. It's about a kid who decides that he wants to jerk off in a pool, and he hears somewhere that if you put your butt around the part, where the filter is, like that sucks in the dirt in the pool, if you put
The
your
vacuum,
butthole
yeah.
up to that part, it increases the orgasm. I'm not going to tell you any more details. I can send you the story. It is one of the most fucked up things you will ever read in your entire life.
Send
It
it.
is.
Send it again. I remember there are shades of this
Yeah. I
story.
definitely sent it to you a
You
while
know.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Send it
Yeah.
again.
It begins with these weird like fetishes that people have, like and he's like apparently tried them before, like he stuck things up his urethra and shit like that, and that like didn't do anything for him. So he's like, oh, I heard that if you stuck your asshole around a pool pump, you can really like enhance your orgasm. And this story is just fucking completely goes off the rails.
Yeah. That. Yeah.
It's already
That
off the
Yeah.
sounds
rails. So
interesting.
Well, that's one of the darkest things he ever wrote. The rest of his stuff is actually pretty neat. Again, if you've seen Fight Club, like that's like the stuff that he writes.
I get it. Yeah.
Survivor is excellent. Survivor is
Plus,
about a
no kink
person
shame.
who
Yeah.
Survivor is about somebody that can tell the future, but there's way
Mhm.
more to it.
Cool.
Um, it's also really clear. Speaking of reading of telling the future, um, did you guys ever hear a long time ago? There was a whole story. There was a whole news cycle about this, about massive murders going on within the Amish community. This was like years ago. I think in the '80s. It was this whole thing.
I do
Anyway,
quasi recall that.
yeah. So here's the really creepy thing. This book is about telling the future. The book is about a person who survives this murder, this killing spree that takes place in the Amish community. Problem is, the book was written before that happened. So that's really
And it's
fucking creepy.
but the book is about like
Is about is about
telling the
seeing into the
future.
future. Yeah. It's really
That's
fucking wild. Yeah.
wow.
So
That's
yeah.
pretty
Well, that just
crazy.
means the nut probably read that book and we never found out for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually probably. Although I don't know, the Amish don't read. Anyway, so so this segues really good into speaking of people that can't read, this segues really well into my next thing. And I'm sorry, I want to get this rant out of the way and then we can move on to other things. Since Jerry had a little rant about politics the other day, I figure I would follow suit and do a quasi quick little thing. So I was driving the other day. I was driving to work, and on the way to work, I passed by a place that sells firewood or wood. I don't know what the fuck. Wood. He sells wood. They sell wood. I don't.
X
Like a
trees.
lumber
They
Right.
sell
place,
X
or
trees.
Yes, extra. Yeah, lumber. I think so. I don't know. The only sign I see is, well, there's two signs I see. I see one sign that he sells firewood, and then about 50 signs about Trump.
Oh God.
Now, yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those things that's his. He decided it would be a good business decision to completely cover his business from top to bottom in Trump signs. You know, like the way you do when you're in a cult. And
Sure.
again, I will stress, I don't have to. I don't agree with Republicans. I don't like them. I don't like the right wing. But there's a difference between being a Republican and plastering a person's name over your
Mm-hmm.
property, whether it be residential or commercial. That's a weird
kind
worship
of worse
thing,
as a
and that's
commercial,
a
but
yeah,
anyway.
that's a cult. Like
Hey,
you're part of a cult. Like just admit it.
sorry. Can you give me 10 minutes? I have to go outside and pull down some Taylor Swift posters and banners and
Well,
stuff.
I would argue that's worse than Trump. But anyway, but that's just my personal taste. Hey, whatever. I don't want to anger.
You
Actually, I'd
just
be
you
more
just
angry.
killed half our audience. Come on.
I was gonna say I'd be more I'd be more terrified to piss off Taylor Swift fans than I would Trump fans.
Yeah, come on.
All right, fine. It's not worse. I just don't do the Taylor Swift thing. All right. I mean, yeah, I like summer. It's not important. Look, let me. Anyway, the point is this. So I'm driving. I drive by his place, and his thing is covered in these Trump signs. And by the way, I mentioned before, I have a few other people around here, a few neighbors around here that also cover all their shit in Trump things, and it's great and it's funny because because the companies that make these know the sociopaths they sell these to, they're made out of the worst. I don't know what they're made out of. I'm assuming like recycled toilet paper because they become weathered and ripped immediately. They'll put them up, and a week later, like the colors are faded. A week after that, there's holes in them, and then another week after that, they're basically just like falling off, and they have to replace them.
And then
And
they get new ones.
yeah, and these idiots are
Yeah.
going to keep buying them ad nauseum.
It's
So
it's
it
all
doesn't-
just cheap plastic shit.
right. It's
With
made out of the
little,
worst fucking.
chicken
Yeah.
wire spikes to shove in the ground.
Right. So, he's every time I drive by, there's a bunch of signs that are like worn down, and the other day I'm driving by, and I noticed he got a new sign hanging, and it's first of all it's a Trump 2020 sign. Now I want to make sure you understand. He went out and bought a Trump 2020 sign in the
New.
year of 2023 because
Uh-huh.
you have to when you have this sort of sick obsession with something, it's not enough that you want to tell everyone that you're going to vote for Trump in the upcoming election. You really want to make sure that everyone knows that you also voted for him in 2020. God forbid people don't know that you've been part of this cult for, God knows how many
Right.
years.
You're not allowed
But
to
anyway,
jump on the bandwagon now.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to be a poser. You want to be a true sociopath from the very beginning. So he has a sign from 20 said Trump 2020, no more bullshit. Okay. And on any other day, I drive by and I'm like, oh, okay, so this idiot's got a new sign. But this time I was like, hey, wait a minute. This says Trump 2020, no more bullshit. But
It
by
sounds like somebody
2020,
made it new.
but the guy has been
Yeah.
at that point. The guy has been in office for 4 years, and the Republicans held both parts of Congress for at least 2 of those years. So wouldn't if there's still bullshit, wouldn't that mean that the bullshit is coming like the bullshit is coming from inside the house? Like why would you say no more
Oh,
bullshit?
that's hilarious.
That
Well,
usually invokes a message of change, right? Wouldn't you say like Trump 2020, keep on trucking, or
mhm.
Trump
Yeah,
2020,
that's hilarious.
you know,
Wow.
keep fucking the minorities. I don't know. Like, I feel like that made like everything about their messaging just has to be angry and negative to the point where they even shit on their own like belief structure.
Hmm.
Where they're like, yeah, vote for Trump in 2020 because fuck the guy that's been in the White House for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
We need change and we need it now. Like, can you imagine like if like Obama's second term, which would have been what in 2012, if Obama's like slogan in 2012 was like something like I don't know, like all right, Obama 2012, enough of this shit or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what message are you trying to put out there? I don't know. I'm legitimately confused.
Hmm.
Are you happy with what Trump has been doing, or are you mad, or will you literally just put anything
We're like, we're
on
still
your
fighting
business?
against all the bullshit that we can't get done in 4 years. It's all
Yeah,
your
like
fault
yeah,
that the
yeah.
4 years nothing happened.
We've been completely inept for 4 years, so let's do 4 more years of this bullshit. Like, what the fuck?
You
Hmm.
got to look at who's putting this up and their level of mental fortitude.
Yeah, I don't understand. And Kevin made a good point. He's like, it's if why would you cover your business in? Okay, you're automatically eliminating at least half of the business,
Mhm.
even though this area is like purple. It's not red or blue, but like you okay, maybe not half, but he's definitely pushing away quite a lot of business. I have never seen a car in his parking lot ever. The only time I've ever seen a vehicle is I saw one vehicle pull in, stop sharply, back up, and keep going. That is the only time I've ever seen a car interact with his business.
That's
Even if
amazing.
that's your belief, is that really more important than making money to support your family? Or, I don't know.
Obviously, the answer to that is yes.
Anyway, that's one of my two rants that I wanted to get out of the way. And Um, I will yield the floor now.
That
No,
was all your
why we
rants.
don't get the second one yet?
What?
That
Oh, you want me to get the second one? All right, I can get
yeah,
to.
sure, why
I can get all my
not?
rants out of the way. You want me to do it now? Fine, I'll do it out of
Yeah,
the way.
why not? Come on,
Okay.
come on.
All right. So fuck Google. On I just like to point this out, and I already talked to you guys about this. And Jerry, you had the fucking audacity to defend that company, and
No, no,
it just made me
He
more
didn't
angry.
defend the
No.
company.
You wait your turn. No, you
yeah.
wait your turn. You wait your goddamn turn. So I'm gonna do a setup here. So Google just released the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro. You guys already have shunned me because I've switched to the dark side of Apple, and I'm very happy where I am. Fuck you. Um, but my
Loser.
wife, my wife refuses. She's a pure Google gal. God,
Aw.
I'm probably gonna get slapped for calling her that. Anyway, so it's fine. I'll drink some coffee and make it up to her. So the thing is, so I got her the Pixel 8 Pro. Why? Why did I get this phone? Besides the fact she needed an upgrade, I got it because Google uh, uh people stood on stage and touted all the things, including its all of their photography things that they're so proud of. And the thing has a lot of like software based photo tricks. The one that they focused on a lot was this creative mode. It's weird. Like they have, you can edit a photo and you can still do some pretty cool shit. But they have this like truly extreme like creative mode
Yeah,
where
it's
you can
super
like draw.
impressive.
Yeah, you can like draw a circle around like a person in the photo and drag them over. It uses like AI to generate stuff inside the photo that you're editing on. You can do some really cool shit. And that was awesome. I showed her and she was like, "Yeah, that's really cool." So I got her the phone. She got the phone. She took a picture and she went to edit it. And we no longer use Google Photo Backup because we just don't because Google already pulled one bait and switch on their photo service when they promised that all Pixel owners would have infinite photo storage, but they kind of backtracked that immediately. But anyway, she went to use this photo thing and she gets this pop-up saying that it won't work because she has not backed up her photo, and in order for this to work the photo must be backed up, which means that you have to be backing up your photos to Google Photos, which means that you have to pay a monthly fee because obviously you're going to run out of space eventually. At no point does Google mention this in their presentation. And if you go to the website for the phone, there is a little footnote that says that you do require the Google Photos app, which makes sense. Obviously, you need the app to do the thing. I'm not going to complain if my Microsoft Excel doesn't do the same things as my Adobe Photoshop, but it doesn't mention anything about the fact that you have to back up your photos and use their paid photo service in order to make this function work. This function that they touted over and over again on stage, and by the way, mentioned that the quote unquote magic happens all on your phone. It's amazing. That's why they have their own new chip. This chip is so super powerful. You can do all these cool things on your phone. On
Well,
your
is it cloud
phone.
editing or is it doing it on the phone? For
I
real?
have no idea. If it does it on your phone, why do I need to back up the photo?
I thought you
Furthermore,
explained to us the reason. That's why I was leading you there.
no, Jerry made up a reason because he's a fucking fanboy and he made up a reason to defend Google, and I will let him do his little
I
spiel in a
wasn't.
second. Let me you were not given permission to speak. and and so and the thing is like
No, but
yes,
you
you
didn't
can
answer the
say
question.
hold on, I will. I
Does it
just give
edit
me a
on the
second.
phone?
I don't know. It won't let us do it because the photo is not backed up. You just press a button and it says this photo needs to be
Oh, you
backed
don't know.
up. Right. So yes, you can say, well, dude, just do the extra step. Back it up to Google Photos, do your little fucking thing where you move the people around, and then download it and remove it. Sure, you can do that. But here's a question.
It's still gated.
Why doesn't
Your
it do
point is, I'm not. No one's disagreeing. Like it's
Oh no,
gated
no, no,
behind the
Jerry.
must own.
No, no, Jerry did disagree with me. And my last
No,
thing is like, if that was a thing, why don't they just do that automatically? Why doesn't the phone just say, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna back it up to Google Photos so you can do your thing, and then we're gonna remove it because we need the whatever online bullshit to do your little photo thing, and that's it." But it doesn't. It just
Come on.
says,
The
"No,
real thing
no, we're
is,
not
why
gonna do
can't
it."
it just be doing it on the phone? Even
Well,
if the thing
mhm.
that Jerry's gonna say, it should just automatically save the original and your magic edit, whatever it's called, save it as a copy. Like, a lot of this current editing software just says, do you want to save over or create a copy?
Right.
That's my usual
Yes, exactly.
common behavior that I expect, right? So
Yes.
whether it saves it locally or to the cloud, that's the part where you're absolutely right. They're pay gating it. It's behind a paywall.
Right. And the thing is, if they said ahead of time, they said, "Hey, this is a pretty intensive thing. We got to do some cloud shit, so you're going to have to back it up." That's fine. They didn't say it. It does not say that on their page. There's
I
no
wonder if
mention of
there's
you having.
one of
There's no.
those package updates where the modders go to town and make it local.
I don't know. But for more insight, we now turn to local Google brown noser Jerry. Jerry, what do you think about this?
I think it's wrong, and that's what I said. What I said was I could see how that decision.
You coward.
No,
You're a fucking coward.
I could see how that decision was made, and it's like because I've seen stuff
Oh,
like
you
that
mean
happen
which
where
decision? We want more
someone's
money?
like, no, no. What I'm
Let
saying
him
is,
describe the whole
I
thing
could
because it's
see
actually
someone
valid in
being
its own
like,
way.
we've gotten, or Google support or whatnot is getting 80,000 people going, where's my image? Where's this? Where's that? I went to edit it and it fucked it up and now the picture's gone or something. So some manager somewhere is just like, oh, have them like save it to photos or whatnot.
That
Be
argument doesn't, but that argument doesn't make any sense. It falls apart immediately when I said it would have been fine if they told you that ahead of time before
right.
you spent $1,000 on their fucking phone, or
Sure.
like Kevin said, if it says gives you an option, do you want to save or do you want to
Yeah.
save a copy?
I
So
agree.
that argument is invalid. Sorry.
Not necessarily, because we don't know like what happens in photos, because you can roll pictures back, or I think you can roll pictures back to like a previous version if you've edited it or something like that. So they might be like, this is guaranteed, it's the easiest thing, just have them do this, boom.
But wait a minute, hang on a
That-
second. Magic Eraser though doesn't need you to back up your photo, and that does way more destructive things to your photos. Magic Eraser straight up erases shit from your picture, and
I thought
that does not need to be backed up.
But is that a
Oh, I
Google
thought this was
product?
part of all of it. I thought that's what
No,
you were talking about,
no,
I
no,
thought that
Magic.
it was,
No, the
all
Pixel 8
things
Pro has a
magic.
new
Yeah.
stuff. It's
Yes,
an edit
Right.
thing.
Thought
Yeah.
I
Magic
get that.
Eraser is
I
under
thought
Yeah.
that
Magic
was
Eraser. No,
part of it.
it is
Okay.
not. Oh,
I did
okay,
not know that.
okay. I accept your apology,
Oh, good, good, good.
and
Actually, are you
I
sure
hope to
that
see you.
Magic Eraser isn't on ours already?
It
It
is on
is on.
yours. It
Yeah.
is, but you don't need to back
Yeah.
up your. Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
part of your
right, right,
regular
right,
editing.
right.
Yeah. Mm. Anyway, and like I said, that is why I'm on an iPhone, because Apple at least takes you out to dinner, they buy you flowers, they walk you to your door, they walk you in, they
At
hold
least
you, they cuddle you, and then they brutally fuck you. But you know, it's nice. You see it.
actually
Sure. Yeah.
doesn't
You know
Apple
what's
have
coming.
that
You know
picture
what's
mode
coming.
which has like 2 seconds before and 2 seconds after you click the button, and it's like you can move like milliseconds forward or back to like get rid of the blink or whatever. That's
No, it
old
was
school.
crazy.
No,
It seems
no,
like
that
that
no
you
Google does
could
that.
do like
Which, by the
if
way, also not buried
mm,
under that save thing. You can do the best face option. Also, not you don't need to back up your phone for that as well, and you literally swap people's faces in that mode.
yeah, I saw
But
that.
by
That
the way,
was pretty crazy where like they're like people are looking off and picking their noses and they press a
yeah,
button and everyone's
we
smiling.
we tried it. By the way, none of the things that we tried, by the way, really worked that well. I'll be honest. The best face
Yeah.
thing, it picks the face, but like your eyes will be like up here, and like your nose will be like on the side, coming out of your ear. This stuff's not ready for prime. The stuff they showed on stage, that's not how any of it works.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's cool like as a gimmick, but it's a little bit a ways from being like
Plus,
actually useful.
there's something strikes me, and I don't necessarily advocate for right or wrong here. I just want to point something out from an objective standpoint. That edit thing you see like on the Pixel website, it has the picture of like someone on a beach with like someone in the background, and like you see it quickly like circle the background, it goes away, and then they circle the person and center them, and then they like highlight the sky and give it tint, and then highlight the sand and give that tint, and I'm like, you you like that's not even a real thing. Like that
Oh,
didn't
you're getting into
exist for real.
you're getting
You
into
Yeah.
a
just
very
fucked
big
with the
debate of
actual capture of a live
yes,
moment
you're
and
Right.
getting into the
and made
debate
it
of
a
what is
not
a picture
actual
anymore.
thing that
Yes.
ever happened. Like you
Again,
created
this is a
fiction.
debate that this is what photographers are now arguing about. Like, what is a picture at this point if you can make these edits, especially the fact that you can do them so quickly on the fly on your phone. Oh, actually, I should stress it's not quick. This all those edits, well, they show them working really quickly on stage. They
Oh
take
yeah.
forever. Even on a Pixel 8 with 12, what is it, 12 gigs of RAM? That yeah, this is not something like you don't take a picture and go, oh, let me just do this. Whoop whoop. Yeah, there you go. This looks great. You're gonna sit there for 10 minutes editing like that picture if you want to do it.
Oh shit.
The point I think is to do. Yeah, it's really really slow. I gotta say overall, I'm fairly disappointed with all the photo shit. It's pretty to the point where what's his name, MKBHDE, Marcus Brownlee.
Yeah.
He tried to recreate the same thing that they did on stage, where they showed the girl with the balloons sitting on the bench. He did the same thing they did. He circled her and like moved her to the right, which is like just completely like mimicking what they did. And his results looked like shit. It didn't even look like what they did on stage, even though he used the same exact photo from the demo.
Yeah,
So
that was janky. I saw that.
yeah, so that was yeah. It's okay. I mean, look, it is what it is. Like it, ugh, whatever.
I never get that into photos to fucking bother.
I
Like
don't
I'll take
either.
pictures if
Yeah,
I'm, on a trip into a new place and I'll just like keep snapping
right.
away, but I'll just keep freaking clicking it and I never review it ever, even when I get back home. So I
I'm the
have these
same way.
giant
Yeah,
libraries and I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's when I was standing there and took 20 pictures," and like, "Oh, fuck,
Yeah.
what's the best?" I should like I don't have the urge to learn how to do it skillfully and look and like
yeah,
take care of it, the picture, like give it love at that moment. And then I
right.
certainly don't do it post production.
Yeah, I don't have time. I can't edit that many dick pics. I just get them right from like I just get up in there the correctly the first time. Just make
Don't
sure
you
your
want
lighting is
magic,
good.
the
Yeah.
the magic edit to
Magic
say make me look bigger?
circumcision.
Magic eraser. You just erase the tip. Yeah, there you go.
Stretch it, add
Yeah,
some
and
girth.
I can't back those photos up. Do
Give
you know how many
me
flags I'm going to set up on the Google server like right away?
increase my penis size by 1.25%.
Yeah. What is this weird new species of tiny mushroom this person is? Oh my god.
It
Please,
does
for
it
the
and
love of God,
it looks like a mushroom.
please,
Yeah.
please let them use these tools without backing these photos up, for the love of God. Mm.
Good times.
Anyway. Oh, it always comes back to dicks. Anyway, so those are those are my two rants. the
Oh
only
my
the
god.
only the only thing I have left to talk about is games, and I'll leave that to the end so you guys can actually get a few a few words in. Oh my
Yeah.
god, that wine went in every hole possible except my throat.
Oh, that's so burny.
So
But,
not yesterday, the day before, my daughter comes downstairs and she looks at the table in the living room, and there's a healthy amount of dust on it. So thanks to our dogs that like to go out, roll around in the dirt, and then come in and just coat everything in dirt and dust. But so of course, what does she do? Being a teenage kid, is she draws a big dick in it. But balls,
that's a great
balls,
it's a great
tip.
segue. Always comes
No,
back to dicks. Great segue.
yeah. No, no ball hair. And I was like, dude, okay, stop. Wait, before, you have to watch and I made her watch the trailer for American Vandal. Just such a good series. That was
American
hilarious.
American
Oh
Vandal. Never heard of it.
yeah. So
Or I've heard of it, I
um,
don't remember.
it's the main guy. It's probably five, no, maybe even more. I don't know. It's at least 5 years old. But the main character is the guy who played young Bert in The Machine. But He,
Oh, I love that
oddly
guy. That
enough,
guy's awesome. I was trying to figure out where I know him from. He was so good.
yeah, he was in a couple other things, but I know him
Hmm.
from American Vandal.
Okay.
But anyway, it's a mockumentary on like this uh high school student who spray painted dicks on like a whole bunch of cars in the parking lot, and like the main guy is being accused, and he's like, I didn't do it. And then there's like, it's just in full like like shit, what's one of those shows where they're like murder mystery show where like a 2020 or
This is Dick Mystery.
Dateline. Yeah. um like one of those shows, but it's like these kids are like, no, Dylan would have never done it because he draws ball hairs on all of his dicks, and it's just
It comes
it's
down to the
hilarious.
details.
Yeah. And there's like computer renditions, like really bad, like simulated, scene graphics where like, this guy's like, I was down on the dock getting a hand job, and you see this like, it's fucking
Everyone's got an
hilarious. You have to
alibi. Is that
watch
what
it.
you're saying? In
Yeah,
creative
it's
ways.
just it's really funny. I highly recommend watching it. It's
Okay.
American Vandal. I think it's on
Where's
Netflix.
it? Where's it? Oh, Netflix. Okay.
I think so. If not, it's on probably Prime.
Oh, okay. All right. American Man. Did you guys ever actually look at that series I told you about, *Halt and Catch Fire*? No, you didn't.
No, not yet.
No.
You guys, you're missing out. I'm
I'm
telling you, you
still
guys would fucking,
I'm
going through
gonna
mine.
you
I had
guys would
to
love that show.
put
Absolutely would
something
fucking love it.
in my phone to remind me.
I had to finish
Uh,
Bleach Blood Wars.
Is that the anime?
Hmm.
Bleach, aren't there like 18,000 episodes of that?
That was the
Yeah,
old one.
Bleach.
The Blood Wars are like newer, and there's only like 13 per season.
Oh.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm glad I never got into it. I tried to the longest series I ever tried to get through was Attack on Titan. Do you know that one?
No.
Ever heard of?
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it.
I can't. There's I thought there was only going to be 3 seasons. I think they're up to season 5 at this point. Every season is like, I don't even know, 20, 30, 40 episodes long. Holy shit, I couldn't fucking take it anymore.
Wow.
It's a
How
really
old is that?
violent, brutal show. I don't remember. It came out a few years ago, but
Hmm.
it's a really good show, but it's a slog.
What was the premise of that?
Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
It's supposed to take place in some, I don't know, some other world. I don't know what the fuck it is. But basically, there's these cities that are walled off because humanity lives in the same world as these gigantic giants, and for a long, long time, they've been able to keep them at bay with these walls. And eventually, something goes wrong, and the giants finally break the outer walls, and they start getting to the city. And these giants are basically like they eat people. So they're different kinds. There's like really big ones, there's small ones, there's ones that are like like really powerful, and there's ones that are really small and weak, and they're incredibly hard to kill. Where the only way you can really kill them is to slice this nerve that's in the back of their neck. So the humans develop this like military force, which has these like, it's hard to describe. They have these like packs that they've holstered on each side that shoot out um, like what do you call them? Fuck, ropes with hooks on the end.
Garrote wire. Oh, you're no.
No,
You're
not a grappling hook,
Like
but more
Batman
like
has,
a.
yeah, like
grappling hook.
grappling hooks. Yeah,
Yeah.
like they shoot grappling hooks, and they basically swing around like Spider-Man, sort of. And the whole point is they try to like injure and disable these titans, and they try to get to the back of their necks where they can slice their necks open. But like, it's really hard. Most of them die getting like fucking chewed and devoured by these titans, and it's this whole thing where one of the main characters, like, it's a really, I can't possibly like, it's such a long show. I would need like a few hours just to explain even the basics of it. But like, one of the main characters finds out that he's actually a Titan, and he can activate his powers by like biting down on his hand and causing himself pain. He turns into like this Titan. Oh, and like, if you injure them, They can like regrow limbs. It's just it's I can't. I'm all over the place trying to explain what the fuck is going on because it's such a fucking huge complex show. It's really really good. Incredibly violent. Like you see people just getting like bitten, like limbs
Are these
getting
like
bitten off and so
like
shit.
kaiju kind of monsters, or actually humanoid, like
They're humanoid.
old school,
They're they're
Jack and the
humanoid and
Beanstalk giants?
very demented looking. They're naked. They're all naked, and they're incredible. Like they have like these Joker like grins on their faces. Some of them, they look very very like terrifying.
So like
Um,
just
and their only
so,
driving
but
force is like
humans that are all like distorted, or just
no,
really
the giants,
surreal
the
alien looking?
Titans.
So they're not
Yeah,
like
all right.
really, they're not smart. They don't
Like
have
ogre
agendas.
giants.
They're just
So as
like
you
rawr.
so as you discover later, right? The thing is, you don't even understand because yeah, they're really dumb. But then some of them are actually really smart, and you find out later some of them can actually talk, and some of them can actually plan and plot. And it's really straight. You don't know what their motivation is. And there's also weird things that happen, like as far as like you find out things about like the things that the government has been doing. You find out that like the walls apparently were made out of like Titan skin. So like you start finding out all this lore about like what humans
I
used to
was gonna
do with
say, how can a
Titans.
wall, you know, how do you set up a system where the tiny guy has a wall for the big guy and it's strong enough to like,
Right. And then right, and then later you find out that like some of the generals which have been trusted and been fighting these Titans are actually secretly Titans themselves, and they can activate themselves like the same way, like they have to cause themselves pain. And it's such a weird
so
fucking
that's
show.
weird. It's technically Titans versus Titans, and the little guys are all just, the
I
humans
don't
are
know.
just pawns in the big war.
Maybe I don't know. It's really really strange. It's
Hmm.
it's it's something you have to watch. I cannot even begin to explain Attack on Titan. It's an excellent show. I couldn't watch it anymore.
It'd
I've
be
watched
like
like 80
animal
episodes of it,
lovers,
and
changing into the animals so that like they could
what
pretend to, they could help the animals fight the humans. I'm
what
just giving an analogy.
animal lovers?
Humans like a PETA that is
Oh,
people
I thought. Never
against,
mind. Okay.
fucking animal
Yeah.
cruelty.
Fucking animal
Yeah,
cruelty.
I would never fuck animal cruelty. I would do it gently.
Adjective. So, but my point is, imagine they turned into the animals and then structured them socially so that they could fight us, all the douchebag humans. Not me. I'm one of those lovers, but maybe not advocate lover, but like whatever.
So you're saying like if a giant poodle smashed
I
into my
gotta stop
house and
now.
just ate yeah, I don't know. I dude, you're I'm finding out some things about you. I don't know. I ever really want to
No,
know.
no, I'm
I
I'm a
I,
pet
I
ally.
kind of see
Okay.
what he's trying to say.
Okay, no, that's hey,
So
I'm not just
stupid.
I dude, to each their own,
Dude,
man.
all I needed was the core of a thing that no one caught on, which is you got these fucking titans, and then some of the titans are actually leading the
Uh-huh.
humans.
Yeah.
It's like the little one.
It's exactly like it's exactly like loving animals.
Oh my
I can
god.
see how you got from point A to
I think
point B completely. Yeah. Totally makes sense. Yeah.
I think it would be
I mean,
more
the
though
giants
like
eat the humans. The titans eat the humans, right?
Yeah, they
So they're
don't love the
treating them
humans.
like food stock.
It's
no,
not even
it
stock. They're just like they're almost like drones. It's almost like there's these smart giants or titans, I should say. And then there's these dumb ones that just march along forward and like they'll walk right into like cannon fire and like into getting murdered. They're just like single-minded and just focused on like walk straight, eat every human along the way. That's it. There's
Hmm.
no like what I mean? Like there's no strategy
That is
to
such
what
a
some of
weird
them do.
premise for sure. I'll give it that.
Oh, it is an incredibly weird show,
I
and
guess
I am
my
not even
mind
getting
was
into the
wondering,
layers.
yeah, like how humans treat all the other, life on the planet. You could almost draw a parallel.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be one of those things where like they've been living on this they've been living there for like hundreds of years and they've kept the Titans at bay this whole time with these gigantic walls and it's never been a problem and then all of a sudden something goes wrong and the Titans break through. And like there's all these new kinds of Titans and like I said some of the people living inside the wall among the humans apparently are Titans already and they can like activate themselves.
Now,
It's a
let me
mess.
ask you this. This is some kind of weird planet, and this is actually really all aliens, but they happen to look like humans? Like even the
It
humans
doesn't.
look like humans? Or are they
It
from Earth
doesn't.
humans?
It doesn't say it. It doesn't make that
Oh,
distinction.
it's one of
It doesn't
those.
say like, yeah, they're humans, but you don't know if it's yeah. At least not yet. Maybe they do later on. Maybe later on you find out that it's all supposed to be like thousands of years in the future or thousands of years in the past. I don't know.
Hmm.
I have not gotten that
I mean,
far.
you had me
That's
interested enough
interesting.
to ask all those questions. It sounds like
If
pretty
you
freaky
if you
weird.
can if you can try to
Yeah.
get through season one and see if you like it, but the
Do you know who
problem
you're
is
fucking talking
you
to?
yeah, you're right. That is true.
Yeah, he has to finish the children book first.
Children book, um, Star Wars, Ahsoka. I'm almost done.
Oh, you didn't finish Ahsoka yet?
I
God
know,
damn it. That's not the only thing I
yeah.
want. Jared, did you finish it?
I did.
Ah,
Yeah.
Kevin. So good. How far are you?
That is. Oh, I can't switch around. Oh, I could, but the other day I marathoned a couple more episodes. I want to say I'm like seven. Oh,
What's the last
um,
thing that happened?
I think I think it's the first episode on the planet on the other galaxy where you find the general. Like
They came out of the
they try
space whale.
yeah, she Ahsoka gets out of the space well, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're pretty far. You only got
I
like one
didn't even
episode left.
see her
Yeah.
get out. So like it was the first scene where you see the planet and you get introduced to the general. Um oh yeah, and
He
then you see the
has
scene
probably
where
two left.
the Padawan woman, I forgot her name, finds finally finds her, meets the little like turtle people, and
And they lead her to what's his
yeah,
name? The
yeah, the
guy.
guy
Okay,
that
yeah, yeah.
she's been missing the whole time.
I'm blanking on all their names because I never
Yeah,
watched
and
Rebels.
I
But
didn't
yeah.
see
I
the
think it
Clone
was
Wars either, so
Shin.
No, it's not
maybe.
Shin. No, it's not
Mm.
Shin. Um, yeah, okay, so you're yeah, only one episode out. Yeah, it's a cool show. I have to say, I totally did not expect the ending to be what it was. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say anything more. But
There's only one more.
um,
Oh wow.
yeah, there's only one more. It was a really good final episode too. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
and I have
I
no idea how they're gonna
don't
wedge all
know.
of this into the main story.
Yeah, I don't know how I like. I don't know any of those characters to begin with, so I don't know where it should have gone or where it seems to, or where.
It takes place after the return of the Jedi. It's pretty much right after the Empire has fallen.
Right, but what I'm saying is you have like Thrawn, like going back to the main galaxy, and like we're supposed to be like, oh no, what's going to happen, but we kind of know that he's
Yeah,
not going to be
careful
a
with
big.
spoilers. Careful with spoilers.
Oh, sorry. um so if you haven't seen Star Wars episode 6, you'd know that Thrawn doesn't show, or like there's except for
No,
maybe like the
he
Battle of Goobity
he
Goop, like you don't.
he was a key in I can't remember if he was in Clone Wars. He was in Rebels, and he was a central character in Rebels. I don't remember if he was in Clone Wars. I can't fucking remember because Dave Filoni did both. He did Clone Wars and Rebels. He must have been somehow maybe
I think
hinting
it's connected
on
to
his
Rebels,
under
right?
his
I thought that was what I've
yes,
seen in articles placing it in the canon timeline.
Clone Wars and Rebels were made by Dave Filoni, and so was Ahsoka. Ahsoka was essentially a live action season of Rebels.
Hmm. Yeah,
In
that's
fact,
what I've heard. That's
no one
exactly what
can
I've heard.
no one understands why they didn't just call it Rebels. It had all the characters from the show.
Hmm.
It was really weird. It would have made more sense at
It's
that
it's
point.
a mar. I'm gonna say for no other reason than marketing, it would market better
Oh
in
yeah,
our
no,
in
yeah,
our
you're right.
current modern time.
Yeah, they were probably wanting to focus about because she was introduced in Mandalorian. So I guess they wanted to make it about her. And by the way, she's amazing as Ahsoka. She did a great fucking job. All of them did.
Yeah.
Like they
Hmm.
all fit into the role like really well. So
Hmm.
um yeah, so and you can by the way, you can enjoy the show without watching Rebels. You probably get a little more out of it if you've seen the show, but if you haven't, it's still fairly enjoyable.
Right.
Anyway. So yeah, get through it, Kevin. Come on. And you still have to finish The Last of Us.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
too.
God, Jesus.
I've I've given up on that. I know he'll never finish it.
I,
Like he'll be like, oh, I'm on episode 4, and we're like, dude, we're on season 4. He'll be like, uh,
It's really good, Kevin. You should finish it or play
so
the game.
yeah, that too.
so you have written down, Skippy, I think,
What I
RoboCop
got.
Rogue City. Is there a new RoboCop movie coming
Oh,
out?
I was. Oh, I was. No, no, no. I was
It's in
saying
the
that to the
games.
end. I did. It was. So what we have going on right now is a Steam Next Fest. So you have a bunch of demos, and there's a
Uh,
RoboCop game, which is very faithful to the movies. In fact, to the point where they brought all the voice actors. Well, they brought all the actors to do voices for the game.
oh wow.
So
That's
Peter
really
Weller
cool.
does the voice of RoboCop, and I don't remember the name of any other actors. Like
Right.
the woman that plays his partner, Annie, is that her name? Annie Murphy? No, not Eddie Murphy. I'm thinking of Eddie
Yeah,
Murphy.
I know who
That's
you're.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in there, and I think a couple of other people. But yeah, it's supposed to take place between RoboCop 2 and RoboCop 3, which is strange because that was a whole nother thing and had
Didn't
nothing to
three
really do with the
derail? I
original
can't
RoboCop.
remember that much.
They both derailed. So the first RoboCop movie was made by Paul Verhoeven, who's the same guy who made Starship Troopers. And movies back then, like RoboCop, Starship Troopers, Gremlins, they all had like they were all metaphors for other things in our society. Like RoboCop essentially had to do with police brutality and poverty, and about how like we're dealing with crime in the wrong way because poor people, and all the shit. And like Starship Troopers had other obviously was not about killing bugs. It was about it was about other things about military citizenship and about society in general.
Hmm.
But
Wait, I
uh,
thought the
well, it's
one when I watched that, it said sponsored by Raid. I was like, what?
yeah, but but like RoboCop 2 and RoboCop 3 got away from all that. It just became like a big violent thing about a robot police officer that shot people. So the first one, so the game, I mean, the game is pretty cool. It's not something I really recommend. Kind of gets old really quick, but it's an interesting game because it's a first-person shooter. You play as RoboCop, but it's different from most first-person shooters that you're used to, where you're kind of like running around and you're ducking and weaving and you're quick and you're using cover. You're basically a tank with a gun, which
Oh,
I
that
guess is
sounds
just,
like fun.
which I guess is just a tank. But so you just like walk around and you just destroy people. Like they can't obviously like none of them are even a match for you. You just walk around and just shoot them. And but the cool thing is that they brought back the classic. If you've seen the first RoboCop movie, you can shoot him in the dick. There's a scene in the first RoboCop movie where he disables an assailant by shooting him in the dick through the lady's dress. It's a famous scene. Whatever, you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, I kind of remember.
Um, but basically, you can shoot everyone in the dick, and they go, oh, and they grab their crotch, and then they fall down. Once again, it all comes back to dicks.
Yeah, it's true.
It's so funny
Yeah,
that that's like, a combo move. Dick move.
yeah, basically, yeah. So, the game is cool. It's like well done. It's very RoboCop-ish. I played it for a while, um, and it's a little repetitive, a little boring because you're basically an indestructible tank. You sort of
Wait,
just
wait,
like
wait, wait, wait,
slowly
wait.
make.
Question.
It's like a yes.
The guy that says, "I'll buy that for $1." Did they get that
I have
voice
not
actor?
seen that. No, I have not seen that yet. He may appear later. I hope they did that. That is a very key element in the movie. So, mm. um, but a lot
Which,
of the
by the
other
way, does
characters.
not, stand up to modern times, which is why I asked about it.
Oh no, no, very little of it does. But no, it just gets boring because it's basically a hallway shooter. You just walk down one hallway, kill everybody, you make a turn, you shoot everybody, and then you kind of wonder.
So
I
it's
only played it
really
for a bit.
Duck Hunt.
The
That's what you're saying.
Yes,
environments
yeah, basically, yeah,
look
yeah,
amazing. Wow.
yeah.
And people explode
It's a
into
very pretty game.
blood and giblets.
You can grab people and like throw them at other people, and they just explode in pools of blood. You can punch them, obviously. You find other weapons. There is a weird thing though, because like remember in RoboCop he had the like the targeting thing, like he had the little boo 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 boo
Hmm.
like targeting thing. Yeah, in this one, some of the guns you pick up, you aim down sights, which doesn't really make sense for RoboCop.
Huh.
That's not he would be shooting from the hip.
Right.
So that was a weird decision. Um, yeah, and all the enemies are pretty much the same. There's only a few character models, and they only either shoot guns or throw grenades. Grenades do some damage, and then there's heal packs everywhere. So God forbid you actually take some damage, you just pick up this little weird pack, and you're completely fucking fine. Yeah, there's not a lot to do in the game. It's okay if you like the RoboCop movies. It's just dumb fun,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. But since you moved it, I can talk about more of the Steam games, Steam Next Fest games.
Sure. Sorry, I didn't know I was like, jumping the gun there.
Oh no, that's
Um,
fine. I'm trying to think. Actually, there isn't. It's funny. Because actually, I didn't really find any games that I can really recommend or were that fun. There was a lot of like Vampire Survivor clones. There was a lot of
It's the next
weird
biggest
first-person
thing.
shooter games. There wasn't really a lot of like nothing really stood out. Um, the only games, honestly, that I played this week that are interesting are Cocoon, which so Cocoon is it's a cool game. It's do you guys remember Limbo and Inside?
Not so much.
Vaguely.
Limbo is that black and white game where you have this little boy and you just kind of moving to the right all the time and you solve puzzles like jumping puzzles or like uh,
Mhm.
um little
Like
like obstacle
environment.
puzzles,
Yeah.
environment
Right.
puzzles. Yeah, do you remember? And then they made another game called Inside, which was really good and about the same thing where you always like moving, you're always like walking to the right. It's a
Hmm.
2D 2.5D
Scroller.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you kind of like there's some platform puzzles and stuff like that. So this is a different studio, but it's the same people that made those two games. They made a game called Cocoon, which is not a 2D scroller. It's more of a sort of like bird's eye view puzzle game where you control this little cicada bug looking person thing and you run around and you solve puzzles. It's got a cool mechanic though. So you're like in this world and you find like this like orb. And if you put the orb on like a base, you can then go into this orb and that's like a different world. And you keep finding these
Mhm.
orbs, so you kind of like go like you like jump into these different worlds and then you can exit those worlds as you like learn different powers and different things and then you can take some orbs and take them in like inside others, so it's a very like inception-y sort of
Oh, that's
Interesting.
neat.
like every orb is a world, right? So you can take like an orb and jump into a world and then you can
Take out
pick
another
that orb
orb.
right, and go into another one, right? And you go into
Do
right.
they somehow filter through the context of the outer world, or is it just you go into the other world?
No, no, they do. No, you constantly jumping in and out of like various worlds. You're like always bouncing around and trying to do different things.
No, but I mean,
And
can one orb be placed in one world, look a certain way, but then be taken back and go into another orb
oh
world
yes,
and
yes.
look
In fact, that's
a totally different sort of way? It's
yes.
like
In
let.
fact, that's
Okay, cool.
yes. In fact, that's how you solve some of the puzzles. You have to like smuggle like two worlds into a third world, and what you do is you take one and you go into a second one and you leave it there, and then you exit it, and then you take that one and go inside a third one, and yeah, like it's all these little things. And there's like yeah, these cool little puzzles that you solve. It's really the puzzles are really great because if you think about it, some of them are incredibly complex, but they there's like no way to break them. Like you can't fuck a puzzle up. You can get stuck because you can't figure out where to go next, but there's no way you can't really do anything. And it's really, really, really intelligently designed in a way that again you'd have to play to really see what I'm talking about.
Hmm. That
But
sounds
it's
interesting.
very, very. it's really really cool. Like if you're ever in a place and you're like, oh, I think I did something, I think I broke the game, or like I can't figure, like I can't go here, I can't go there, I can't whatever. Just keep fucking around. You will find a solution. Like it's some like there's no way to break this game. They put a lot of thought into making sure that there's no way that you can really break the puzzles. Um, and the bosses are really neat. There's a bunch of bosses, and they're a little simple in the sense that like they have like a repetitive pattern. You have to learn what that pattern is, and then you sort of like every boss kills you with one hit, but they don't
Hmm.
actually kill you. What they do is they knock you out of that world, so you kind of like bounce out of it, and then you go
Mm,
right back in and just try again. There's
mhm.
no like
Hmm.
there's no dying in this game,
Right.
and the bosses are pretty cool. Like they have these really cool mechanics that you have to figure out. Like the boss is basically a puzzle in
Sure.
and of itself. So, it's pretty cool. Like it's I think it's on Game Pass. Um, if you want to try it out, it's good. Honestly, it's a really entertaining game.
That's
The
cool.
only other the only other thing I haven't really played it, but Lords of the Fallen. Have you guys heard about Lords of the Fallen?
No.
That
No.
finally came out. Lords of the Fallen is pretty cool. It's a new Souls-like game that came out, and I know Jerry loves his Souls-like games. Mm. This one I would say is probably a little bit easier. Um, Not a lot to say about it. It's similar to Souls games. You pick a class, you level it up, you fight
Hard
creatures and monsters, whatever.
bosses.
But there is one really cool thing. So you have this like lamp, and what you do is if you hold it up, you you enter like this undead world, the Umbral world. So basically, there's like two worlds that are always coexisting at the same time. So you can find certain things only if you're like inside this umbral world. And you can either shine the lamp so you can see, like for example, if you come into like a chasm that you can't cross, you'll shine a light and you'll all of a sudden like a bridge will pass. But you can
Hmm.
also enter this world to solve certain puzzles and get around certain things and deal with like different kinds of enemies or whatever. And
Oh,
if you
so you
die,
go into the world, use the bridge, then go back into the
You know
normal
that's been
world.
done before a long time ago.
Yeah.
oh no, it's been done, but I'm oversimplifying it. It actually is a very well done mechanic. Like you can't see certain enemies, for example. You have to like go into this world. You can use this lamp if you come across certain enemies to suck out their souls, and then like that disables them, and then you just beat their fucking souls until they're dead. Someone figured out that if you come across certain enemies, like on like a bridge, you can suck out their soul and then drag it out so that it's hanging over the end of the bridge and then let it go. And then they reconnect with their soul and fall off the bridge. Like shit like that.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
But it's cool because these worlds look very, very different. And there is more there. The mechanics of this Umbral world are way more involved than like, oh, I need a bridge. Like it gets really, really cool. Like, you have to solve puzzles by bouncing between these two worlds, basically. Certain enemies cannot be killed unless you go into the Umbral world and disable whatever is making them invincible, and then get back out and face them. Meanwhile, they're like beating you to shit in the real. Like you have to be really quick about it, kind of thing.
The whole
Huh.
two world overlapping thing has been done before, but it does sound like interesting, cool.
It's really well done here. It's
Yeah,
not like
yeah, yeah.
it's not a gimmick here. Like it's integral to the play. It also looks gorgeous. Like the game
Hmm.
is beautiful, and the
That's
fact
great.
that you can switch between the worlds at any given time. Like you just turn on the light, and all of a sudden, like you have this world that's already sort of dark and decrepit, but then you open it up, and all of a sudden you see like these fucking souls like embedded in the walls, like reaching out for you and whatever. And if you die, I'm like, so in Dark Souls, if you die, you're obviously dead. Here, you die, you get knocked back, you get knocked into this umbral world, and you can escape it to get one more chance. And if you die again, then you're dead for good. But yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, and then if you there's some cool shit to find in this umbral world, but the longer you stay in it, the more enemies you face, the harder it gets. So even though there's some really cool shit to find there, you can only stay there for a certain amount of time before you just get
You build
fucking
up
mobbed.
automatic heat.
Yeah, you get a
No,
bunch of
that's
aggro on
interesting.
you. Yeah. Yeah, it's a cool game. Honestly, it's really neat. That might be worth checking out.
Yeah,
Um,
that sounds pretty interesting.
yeah.
One of the games that you suggested to me seemed what was really cool. It was Anx or Anx, ANX
Which one was that?
Defense.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah, the
one
one with
where
the mirrors.
yeah, so you have like it's looks like a typical tower defense where you have your whatever you're defending, and then there are paths to it.
Mhm.
Um, and you, but instead of towers, you have like a pulse thing, something that shoots a laser, and then you have to place mirrors and like lenses and amplifiers all around to to cross the paths of these things, excuse me, and kill them.
Yeah.
And it's just super clever and interesting and like a totally neat way to look at the tower defense puzzle. And like there's things where you can't place stuff because there's an object on the ground, so you can't put a mirror there. Or if you there's some things where like there are trees in the way, so the laser can't go through. And it looks really cool.
That's cool. Did you end up getting it?
N- um, no, not yet. But I think just because I don't know if it was ready, it was still.
No,
Um,
they had a demo as part of Next Fest, but they didn't. I don't think
I don't.
the game is in early access. I think.
Yeah, but I don't think it was. Yeah, it's just coming soon, so it's
Yeah,
not out yet.
it
But
it did look super cool.
yeah, that
Um,
was cool. Foundry demo was on
oh
Steam,
yeah,
and that's
that was
a great factory builder.
that's like
I
Satisfactory, right? It's like a first person factory builder.
Yeah, it's like if Satisfactory and Minecraft had a baby, because it's like voxel based, and like
Mm.
the cubeness of Minecraft.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I looked at it.
it's a
Yeah.
3D factory builder like Satisfactory.
Hmm,
So definitely a fun game. I have it already on itch.io, but it's
that's cool.
cool if it's coming to Steam.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, Trying to think. What? Oh, I know it. Suddenly, not suddenly, because I've always loved the game. I put in a ton of hours, actually, last weekend into Don't Starve.
Oh
Remember
yeah.
that game?
Hmm.
Oh my God, I missed that game so much. I haven't played it in forever. They added so much stuff to it as far as mechanics and the way like menus work and build menus work. Holy crap. They've revamped that game pretty fucking heavily. There's more like roguelite stuff to it now where you earn points. I think they're called insights. I think that's what they're called. But yeah, the crafting menu has been changed and actually made a lot easier where like there's a central so before, I don't know if you remember, there was like this menu on the left which had like a bunch of categories, and then you
Yes.
click on a category, and then it expands, and then you can build. And it takes forever to find anything you want to build, and it's really hard because you're like basically like you can die at any given moment and lose everything, so you're like scrambling to build it. So they changed that. There's now just a crafting menu, which you can set it to pause the game, and it has categories. You can search through them. You can finally, thank fucking God, do the thing where if you want to build something and you don't have the necessary resources or the necessary like pre-crafted stuff, you can now just click and you can build the stuff that you need as long as you have like the base resources. Like you don't have to like if you need
It'll
like if you're trying to
pre-build.
build
Oh,
so
it builds the
not
intermediate component. So if you have,
not automatically, but like if you want to build a house, like it'll say, okay, you need 10 boards and you need 10 refined stones, and all you have is rocks and logs. It'll tell you, and then there's a little, each one has like a little plus on it. So you just click on it, and then you can make the boards and the refined stones out of the
Oh, so
stones and the
okay, yeah.
you
oh,
still
you
have to
still have to do it.
you still
You
have to do it,
still
but thankfully
micromanage the auto
a
building,
little bit, but
but
thankfully you don't have to
it's
go
right
into a
there.
completely different
Yeah.
category and make boards, and then go to a different category and make refined stone, and then go into this and then build a hut. You can do it all in one thing, basically. It just takes a few more clicks. They should have just automated it at that
Yeah,
point, but
they
whatever.
were like ninety
Yeah,
percent of the way there.
yeah, exactly. But it's still cool. Like they made it way easier. Yeah, there's explanations for things. Like you actually know why you're building it. There's now seasonal categories, so you can be like, okay, what the fuck do I need to get through winter? You just click on a winter tab, and it gives you all the winter like items you can build. So stuff like that. It's way better. Like The game's a ton of fun.
That's cool.
I've really 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 missed playing it. It's so fucking good. So if you guys are, the other one is
I finally breached 1,000 hours in Nova Drift.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Wow.
Wow, a
It's-
thousand.
it's-
I mean, I have thousands and thousands of hours in some games, but there's stuff like,
Masturbation does not count.
yeah, it's some incremental or Factorio where half the time it's just sitting in the background and either running or producing something.
yeah,
But like Nova Drift, that's I
That's a
have
game
to
you gotta
sit here
play.
and play this.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know how you do it, dude. I'm amazed when I look at my Steam hours for certain games. Like I've played Darkest Dungeon forever. Like I have played so many campaigns of Darkest Dungeon without ever finishing it. And then I looked at it and it's like, oh, you have 90 hours in it. I'm like, what? And
Yeah.
then you're like, I have 1,000 hours in Overdrift. I don't I feel like I've lived in Darkest Dungeon for like months and I only have
There's
like 90
phases.
hours.
Like I'll leave it, and then I'll be like, wow, like I'll do one game here or one game there, and then recently it sucked me in because there's been updates, and so
Hmm. They're
once there's
still
an
updating
update,
Overdrift?
oh yeah, there's like a
Oh, that's
2.0
awesome.
situation happening.
That's fucking awesome. Good
Um,
for them.
they're like, and their final thing will be to turn off limit endless mode, and actually have
Yeah.
like a full campaign where you there's an end, kill a giant boss.
Hmm. Interesting. I think the most hours I have, strangely, is not Elden Ring. I only actually have about maybe 90 hours in Elden Ring. I have something like 150 hours in Dark Souls 3 because I've beaten that game twice or three times, I forget. That's a game I keep coming back to for
No
some
wonder,
reason. I
yeah.
can't explain it.
Sure, it
Dark Souls
shows dedication to that
The, Dark
Souls
Souls
like
3 is a
games.
great game. It is a fun fucking game. I do have to admit that game, yeah. For a game that I absolutely shit on and hated for years, it is a pretty fucking great game. I stand corrected, all right. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me as far as games. I played some more. Oh, I mean, Starfield is something I fucking live in. God, I fucking love Starfield. I have only about 40 hours in that game, maybe 40, 45 hours. I have not advanced the main story at all. At
Oh,
all.
really?
Wow.
I am running around the galaxy and just fucking explore. I love that fucking game. It is so goddamn good.
Are
For all
you
its
just
problems,
random
for all its
exploring,
faults,
or are you just following like random missions and just
every
going out
but
and doing them?
well, yes, because every mission you do leads you to like 10 more missions. You do a quest for somebody and they're like, hey, can you go here and like get this thing for me? And then you get to this thing and you run into 10 more people who are like, hey, can you do this thing for me? And sure, some of the quests are fetch quests and they're kind of like, can you go here and get me a thing? And I'm like, really, dude? Like phones and internet exists. Like, fucking do it yourself. Just fucking Amazon it. Um, but some of the missions are so goddamn creative, and some of them are hilarious. There's this like random mission where you just arrive at a planet and there's like a tourist ship, and they're like, "Ooh, are you like a space explorer or whatever?" And you're like, "Yeah." And the woman's like, "Hey, we're just doing a tour, and we've got some like rich people, and they have some questions like about what it's like to be like a space explorer slash pirate." And like would you mind like answering some of their questions? And you're like, okay, whatever. And they start asking questions. They're like, are you single? Do you love to do you love to fuck? Do you like one night stands? And you're like, what the fuck? And then you answer all these like horny women's questions, and there's like, cool, thank you, here's $5,000. See ya. Like
It's bizarre. And like,
completely fucking random shit like that.
are these all like handcrafted, or like a percentage of them procedurally generated,
I
or
don't know. I think the missions are handcrafted. I still can't figure out how much of the game is generated versus handcrafted.
It's got
Supposedly,
to be a giant storyboard.
yeah, some of the planets apparently are generated. Oh, I went on I went on this fucking mission where, I went on this planet. It's like a merchant planet, and I decided that this is the planet where I'm gonna like catalog all the plants and life. So I started like running around and like scanning plants and all these weird animals, and there's a lot of aggressive animals. And eventually, I think I pissed off a whole bunch of them. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna leave. So I went back to the starport, and the starport is located in town where this merchant city is, and all these animals followed me. Anyway, everyone's dead. So
God.
I stood on the launching pad and watched these monsters just like devour all these people and like destroy everything and everyone. And I'm just like, I'm standing here with a gun going, should I get involved? Nah, I'm just gonna leave. So I just got on my ship and left. Everyone's dead. I murdered an entire fucking colony just by running and
by
going,
luring
just by
everybody
running
back.
around and going, ooh, what's that?
You ever see Free Guy and how they rag on like the whole premise is how us humans like just treat the NPCs like dirt? That's
Yeah,
hilarious. That's like
basically.
a
That's
story out of
exactly
that
yeah.
movie,
That's exactly what that is. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's some.
I did some missions for them and they paid me money and I was like, cool, thanks. I'm gonna go explore your planet and I brought
It's
back
like,
everything and
wait,
everything
can
ate them.
I? And you're like, oh, I wanted to sell stuff for creds before
Mm.
I left
Oh,
because they
Kevin, by the
never
way,
have
since you're playing
enough.
that game, I will tell you this. There are so you know how there's like day and night cycles?
Sure.
Different things do happen in day and night versus certain so you know how there's like 1,000 planets? Well, guess what? Different shit happens on some of them depending on whether you're there during day or night.
And that's not new. Like
Yeah, but
they've
I
done
didn't
that
know that.
before. Yeah.
I did it by accident. I stumbled onto a couple of things where like there was some really weird shit going on at night, and I almost got killed. So I left, and I came back, and everybody was gone during the day, and I just looted the fuck out of it.
That's
Oh,
essentially,
that's
yeah, bioming the
creepy.
whole world. That is cool.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty fucking neat. Anyway, it's a fantastic game. Again, for all its faults and whatever, I absolutely love it. I think that game is heavily misunderstood, and unfortunately, I think it always will be. There are plenty of people playing it who do sort of quote unquote get it, but I think it's never going to be appreciated to the extent that it fully is. Bethesda really did a lot of really cool shit with that game, and it's never going to be fully realized by a lot of players, unfortunately, because they're going to get pretty bored of it. Um, I mean, some of the mechanics and some of the stuff in that game definitely put some people off, and that's a shame. There's a lot of really really neat shit there that you find after you explore for quite some time. Jerry,
That.
I'm telling you, dude, if you actually got into it, you would absolutely be sucked into it.
Yeah, I'm sure that would be a problem.
Yeah, I guess the problem. I finally built some.
I do need
How
to
much
Yeah.
can go
check it
into the
out.
base building stuff? Because isn't it a big thing to
Hmm.
like sort of automate? So let's say
Oh,
some
dude,
kind of gas raw material so that you build up the stock
that's
material.
a whole nother thing. I have not even gotten to
Like I've
base
seen
building yet.
helping guides to
Yeah,
20 planets can get you everything. Like or like
yeah, it's
whatever, and it's like the
insane.
perfect strategy to get every raw material you need. And I'm like, holy shit,
Yeah.
somebody has, a full, setup for go to this planet and get this material and
Yeah.
then refine it here
Yeah.
and send it to this
The
planet and
the base builder is absolutely bananas, and considering the fact that like the ship builder, which was supposed to be simpler than the base builder, is incredible. Like
Huh.
you go to these different stations and different planets, and they all have different components and different parts. You can only add certain things to your ships at certain places, and you have to level up because there's A, B, and C components. You can't even access B and C components until you level up a bunch of your stuff. So you're spending the a lot of the early hours in the game using only A level components, and there's like dozens and dozens of those. And there's different ones at every base. So basically, Jerry, the way we look at it is there's different builders, right? So if you go
Mhm.
to like a certain space station, they're like, "Oh, we are the blah 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 company. Here's all our ship components,"
we
and you can
specialize
be
in
like,
warp
"Oh, that's cool."
drives.
Yeah, you can
Right.
be like, "Oh, that's cool. They have really awesome engines. Let me put these engines on," right? And you fly to a different base, and they're like, "Hi, we're the blah 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 company. We also sell components." And you're like, "Oh my God, my engines
Dude,
are complete shit compared to these engines, but they don't mount correctly. They don't mount the
That
same
whole
way. So I have to
piecemealing thing
I got
is
to move
like
my
so
components
fucking
around."
frustrating. Yeah.
It
uh,
is frustrating. It's a lot of work. Yeah,
But I
but the
get
ship
it.
build
It's supposed to be doing like, scavenger crew ships, where you just build your shit.
you will if you're building a ship in any other game, you'd spend I don't know 15, 20 minutes, maybe an hour building a ship. Dude, I spent like 4.5 hours building
Yeah.
a ship.
Yeah.
It's
No, I
like,
get
and
it. Yeah.
it's insane.
I mean, I
Yeah.
got sucked in and in a similar game where I got a little sucked into the base building. I remember spending a huge amount of hours being like, wait, not just interior design, but like, I want the walls like this. I want to put a turret over here and blah, blah, blah. Now, you're
Oh, No
talking about
Man's Sky.
shipbuilding, I know, but
Yeah.
like the idea of getting in that craft mindset, like a Minecraft mindset, where you're like, let me carve.
Here we go.
You,
Here's somebody's got to bring up Minecraft. Usually it's Jerry, but go ahead.
it's no, but it's the same bug.
Minecraft
You
did it
roll your
first.
eyes. I'm
I will
saying like,
every time anybody brings up Minecraft, I'll roll my
but
eyes
the
because
idea
Yeah,
to
it's
I said it
customize
earlier and you didn't.
something you own. Well, oh, you said it in
yeah,
the, yeah, the voxel slash whatever.
Yeah.
yeah. But no, I get what you mean, but yes, yeah. I mean, like you get it, yeah. It's I'm telling you, Jerry, if you don't want to, if you don't want to lose hours of your life, don't try Starfield.
Yeah, I'm sure someday. I just haven't had that bug yet.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. Yeah, wait for it
Just
to
like
drop in
watching
price.
all those movies and playing Baldur's Gate 3. What's the other one? Oh, no,
I'm not
Starfield
sure.
is the other
Yeah,
one.
yeah, I'm not touching Baldur's Gate 3. Have you started it yet?
No,
Yeah, I'm not touching it. No
I
way.
haven't really
I don't.
had those kind of
I don't
moments.
have enough. I don't have enough years left to live that I can get into Baldur's Gate 3. I am planning to finally finish. What was the previous game? Divinity.
Yeah, Divinity 2 probably.
Yeah,
Original Sin.
original. I do want to finish that. That game was amazing. And Baldur's Gate is just basically that, but supposedly even better. But I thought Divinity 2 was pretty fucking amazing. So
Divinity 2 is fantastic. Really awesome.
yeah, you finished it, right?
Did
Forever? Well,
I
you played
did
a lot.
I
I know you played a lot
we
of it.
the furthest so I played a ton with my kids for a long while, and then we would restart and play with different characters and then restart and play with mods because
Yeah.
it was like we would do marathon playing. So we would like marathon for, I don't know, a week, and then like it would be a while since we play again. Um, the furthest we got was like a single campaign. I think into what is it, the fourth part, and halfway through, and it was getting kind of challenging, and we had like,
Mm.
a bunch of shit to complete. So didn't totally finish it, but got really far.
Like I say. So I have a question. When you play with your kids, and because I played a few co-op games with you, do you play the same way you play with us, where you just sort of run away and do your own shit, like 10 levels ahead, or
So what
when you play with your
happens
kids, or
in
do you
so
play
like a
more
game
like
like
with
Divinity,
in their
yeah.
vicinity?
No, it is. And actually, I would argue that's the proper way. So basically, what's happening is people would
It's
get
not.
well, look, you could all sort of play like D&D style where it's like, okay, the locus of plot telling is here and here and here, but we would get into explore mode, let's say out of turn-based mode. So as long
Hmm.
as everyone's not in turn-based mode, we would run around and fucking click on barrels, like, go do role playing in the city, like talk to NPCs, blah blah
Oh,
blah.
I see. Okay, so you just have a
But if
different
it was
approach to it. I
plot
see. I see.
shit, they'd say, "Oh, you might want to come listen to this." And so it has a mechanic, even in Baldur's Gate 3, where um, you can click on another player who's in uh, a communication sequence, like with an
Yeah,
NPC,
you're right, and
and you can click
listen
it,
to it.
and then
Yeah,
you'll just stop moving, and you'll go see what it is. So
right.
like you would interact like that way. And then the other thing is if somebody entered into a battle, it's turn-based. So they literally just wait. And in Divinity 2, at some point you can find these objects that just lets you can get like it's like these little uh, uh, inventory item that you just click on and it says teleport to another player. So like this running off is to experience exploration but on your own because you're following your own like rabbit
I
hole
see. Yeah, yeah,
or managing your inventory or go leveling up. But as soon as something was important, you'd say calling all players. And so if two people
yeah, yeah.
met, we'd be like, "Oh, this one's easy. It's just a couple of rats." But oh no, this is main plot battle. And in fact,
Gotcha.
the
Okay.
most of the time you can't take on a battle solo unless like you
Right,
really,
right. Yeah.
you know.
Okay. All right. So you just played it differently. Okay. No, that's cool. All right. I can respect that.
But
It's
I
weird.
think we
I
were
was
so new, like you guys are so new. I already knew what I was doing, so I was like eager
yeah.
to just fuck around.
No, I listen to a few gaming podcasts, including I listen to like Core, and there's a guy on there, Bo, who has very specific rules about how he likes to play these games and how he expects other people to play it. He
Oh,
always
Terraria would
rants
have been a perfect another
like
example.
he
We
always
would go
rants
fuck
about
her.
people
Yeah,
who he always rants about like people who don't understand how to play these games properly. But interesting because they all believe that like it's your game, so you should play it the way you want to play it. But like when it comes to games like that and D, he's like, no, 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 no. There's a very specific way to play it. Like you cannot fuck around. This is how you play these games. This is how you cooperate. This is how you do everything, or you can get the fuck out.
yeah.
So I was curious. Yeah, and you guys play
Now,
D
did
and
he
D,
explain
so
it like I did, or totally? He's like, no, you don't run off.
I don't know. I know he does the thing that you explained where you said like if anyone is in an important communication, you drop what you're doing and you listen to what the fuck is going on, or like you join them in battle. So I don't know as for how the exploration works. But he did say that when they were playing Baldur's Gate with a bunch of people, he got annoyed because people would just be doing random shit and just fucking everything up left and right, and he was
Yeah,
getting really annoyed because he was like, "No, we have to talk and plan about everything. This is how D&D works. You work together and you talk about things and you make a plan and you execute. You don't just walk into a room and just say, "Okay, cool. I'm just gonna bomb the fuck out of everybody here and hope for the best." So
yeah. I mean, I, I bet those kind of shenanigans. Actually, there are D&D groups that are a bunch of fuckwads and like do that kind of like, well, I don't care about team player. There's no, there I'm I. There's no team and I. It's like,
yeah,
it's fuck you. So they do
yeah.
stupid things like I'm a mage. I'll just, and in other words, they die and no one's having fun because they're not. They're just being
Right. So
jackasses.
I think in his example is like they found a character, a very important character in the game that you can get to join your party. They're like, we did it, guys. We finally found her. We can finally get her to join our party. And some guy is just like, Leroy
Killed her.
Yeah.
Jenkins. And
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
God.
and just like fucking stabs her in the face. And they're like, well, great. Okay, cool. You're
Oh
an
Yeah,
my
asshole.
so
God.
those are assholes and should be banned from your group that's playing. Like I would totally fucking agree with that shit.
Oh, Kevin, I would never ban you.
I was talking
I
about
mean, I
how
put
I
up.
would ban.
Oh, okay. I was gonna, because I put up with Jerry's bullshit, who's just basically like, again, like, I mean, you know how he plays. He's just drunk and complaining about the flight mechanics and
Yeah,
everything.
it's
The
good
flight me
times.
guys, the flight mechanic in Baldur's Gate are the worst.
If
Just the
if
worst. Yeah. My
you know,
jetpacks.
The
Yeah.
anthem.
if we
I
stream the
I read an
games that
article
I
that
was playing, we'd get viewers.
Can we please play Anthem again? God, that game is
I
still, by the
heard
way,
that
that
it
game is
got
still
hosted
supported.
for like a week long reunion and then they shut it down again.
I think so. Well, no, no, it's not shut down. Their servers are still live. The game still technically works. The servers are up. You can still play it. If you can get people together, that game is totally up and running.
That's funny.
It is funny. I fucking miss that game. Anthem was
I
so
do. That
fucking
was a
good.
lot of fun.
And Anthem was amazing. What a wasted goddamn opportunity. And things like it's still running. Like every week I'm like, maybe like somebody would be like, guys, we have it
I
like
made some good
all the tools are
progress in
there.
that too.
Yeah, like it's still working. Everything's still there. The game totally still holds up. Like let's just fucking bring it back.
Well, like they did that with City of Heroes. I mean,
Yeah, you're
they
Well,
right.
but
were
Yeah.
that
like,
was
Yeah.
different. That wasn't officially sanctioned. They just
No, it was
gave
they
the
gave it to the
server.
players. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
gave it to the
gave
players.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
server software
Yeah.
to players, and then
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it's
actually
true.
still have mine. I have a Discord channel of the 13th Sign, which was our group in City of Heroes, and for a little
Lord.
bit they had like someone had a server running for a while.
Wow.
I haven't seen chat in there forever. I just see like people update their Instagram.
No. I wish they bring back. Fuck, I'm gonna
That
go
was like
Anthem.
15 years ago. Holy shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was crazy.
Oh, anyway. But yeah, I mean that's the majority of the stuff that I wanted to cover. You guys got anything you want to cover before we wrap it up? Because I think I'm gonna pass out in about
Yeah, I think
anywhere
now's a
between
good
5 to
time.
10 minutes.
Well,
I,
yeah,
I
you can go. I mean, I
okay,
could
bye.
bullshit about no. I'm saying like if you want to go, I don't have to bring anything up.
No, no, looks like you
Right?
got something. Go ahead, Jerry. I'm here for this. Go ahead. I already destroyed you in the Google Photos debate, so I would love to shit on your face about something
Oh,
else.
yeah, sure. Well, thanks. I was kind of happy that it looks like I'm getting a neat little software update in my car soon, or they just released it. I don't know if it's actually downloading to my car now, but it's
Oh, is
nice.
it?
It's like to
Oh, the
see,
key. Oh, the
yeah,
EV6. Oh, are they?
it's nice
Oh,
to
are they
see that
gonna?
they're
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, it's just nice to see that they're actively improving the software.
That's great. Are they gonna make it not suck now, or like, is that what's gonna happen?
Yeah, sure. Nuts not suck. You're so jealous.
I do like that car.
They
It is.
did
I love
apparently.
I love
Have you
driving my completely outdated Nissan Leaf. What are you
did you
talking
ever
about?
test drive one, Skippy?
No, no. Why
Oh,
would I test drive one? I'm gonna want one if I test drive it. I
yeah,
don't want
you
it.
are.
Fucking.
You are.
I already
There's
want.
no fucking way you don't sit in that car and go like,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah. I already see it from a distance, and I want it. What the fuck? But no, no. I love my Nissan Leaf, because I love the fact that I can't charge it anywhere except in my house, and it has a range of 7 miles. That's amazing. That's all I want. That's like the true like old school EV car owner.
Yeah.
Our cars have to be terrible. If your car is modern, you sold out, man. I don't want to hear it.
I held out. So no, but
So
it's
so are they adding actual features or are they just like updating some stuff?
yes. So like they've done some optimization to the sound system, so it's crisper, louder, more bass. Um,
That's a
So
what
can
software
we?
they
upgrade?
were,
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, they now say if you want to put it into Drive, you have to back it up into their Photos app first,
yeah.
and then you can drive it. Yeah,
It's our
um,
key app.
nice. Yeah, there you go.
yeah, I don't know what else.
Install new software. Your key is now expired. Please
A
install
lot
new
of
firmware.
You're gonna like your Kia is now Alexis. Enjoy your new update.
ooh.
Holy
One
shit,
of the
that would be
things was
fucking crazy. All
like,
the shit that, you've subscription based crap and make it all based on just the fucking key.
Oh my
well,
God, that'd be
isn't
amazing. Imagine if you buy like a shell of a car and then you're like, oh, I gotta raise it at work. I want to upgrade my car from like a Honda to like a Mercedes. And you just press like a key and your car is now you press like you
That's
pay like a
fucking
bunch of money.
hilarious.
That'd
I
be
don't, I mean, you
amazing.
won't be able to change the shape, but give
didn't
me
something
power
like that
windows, please.
hap-
Uh,
happen recently,
That will
or
be
like
30
in the
cents a
past
month.
year or two, where they had if you wanted the seat warmers to turn on, you had to pay
yeah,
an
that was
extra.
That's
yeah,
BMW, I think.
Yeah,
BMW did that and they walked it back. Yeah, they said, yeah, people were pretty fucking pissed off. They're like, dude, I have heated seats in my car. Just turn them the fuck on.
yeah.
Not for
If
like,
you want to do a car with the whole a la carte bullshit, that would be for Gen Pop, not fucking BMW brand name cars.
oh no, you know what? I have to say, I think it's one of those things that's eventually going to happen. I think they're just testing it out,
Yeah,
and
but
once
it's going to
people are
be
a little
the
more accepting
Android
of it,
versus iPhone debate again, and it'll be like the
it's
Android
just
of
gonna.
cars and the fucking, it'll be like
It,
Samsung makes the car, but all the software you have to fucking
no, I think it's going to get to
install
the
on
point where
yourself.
we're all going to have the same hardware, and it's all going to be software limited. Like the same person like that buys like a lower end Toyota is going to have the same car as somebody who buys a higher end Toyota, but the software is going to like basically limit their car to
And
like
why
less
wouldn't
power and less
when
features.
everything's electric,
It's
why shouldn't you do that? It's like,
Yeah, I don't know if I hate that idea because technically it makes it cheaper to build these things instead of building
yeah,
different
because
models.
it's
You only
every
build
single
one
one has
car.
the same motor. Exactly.
Yeah,
I actually
yeah.
kind of agree with you on a certain layer of it.
I know there's got to be a bad side to it because there always is, but I just don't know what it is yet.
I
But I
I
mean,
think that's
mean,
I'm
gonna
it'd be an
definitely.
sure.
interesting design to have, like, let's say, a particular
I mean,
size
Tesla does that
car,
now.
like sedan
Tesla does that
size.
right now.
Well, right. I
No, I
guess
mean
this
Yeah,
was
Tesla
the
does
but
it.
model
Yeah,
base. But I
yeah.
was gonna add a layer and say you can fuck with the cosmetics just like you add spoilers or whatever, but you could actually more involved is my point. In other words, you could
Hmm.
like front panel A, front panel B, and like you just go into
Right.
a dealer and it's like make it sort of a cheaper type of swap out or something like that.
Oh, like
Like a
modular
kit.
modular cars. Yeah,
Yeah,
modular. Yeah, that'd
like
be pretty cool.
but like the trim, you know,
Yeah.
you kind of do it once or like do a huge makeover. But like when you buy a car, it's like, okay, here's the line, and there's like 10, let's say, luxury size kits, and it's aesthetic based. But then you have the software does the interior, in
Yeah.
terms of features.
That'd be cool. I
It
actually think,
actually
yeah,
would be
I
kind of
agree.
cool, I think.
I agree with you. I think that would be really neat. I think that is actually something that's going to happen because all these cars are built on like similar platforms. It's just
That's what I was
basically a
gonna say. It
skateboard,
kind of is
right?
done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a flat thing with wheels, and then they just stack components, batteries on top of
Mhm.
that. So yeah,
Mhm.
you could drive in the thing and be like, hey, I want an SUV now. Here's $50,000. Turn my little hatchback into an SUV.
Well, that was the way they were, advertising these things. The whole skateboard platform years ago. They were like, you could drive, you could have your pickup in your garage and your sedan in your garage, but they're just the shells, and you just put your skate underneath whichever one you want to drive that day.
Yeah,
Oh, I
that'd
never
be
heard
really
of that,
cool.
but that's, I mean, quasi
Yeah,
neat.
that is pretty cool. Yeah,
But
I
it
think we're headed.
was, like, oh, you'll do this in 20 years. And that was 20 years ago.
Also, hey, cool thing. Don't forget, next year will be the first time that there will be an official flying car on the road. Well, in the sky, I get in the air. I don't know, but technically, there is now going to be a
Like above
car.
tree line or
I don't know what the rules of that
hover.
car are, but
Yeah, really.
there's actually a flying car that is released for consumer purchase next year.
I mean, that sounds
That's
like you
interesting.
need to follow like standard flight protocols.
I don't, that's the thing that's weird. It is going on sale, but I have no idea what the limitations of it are. I'm beginning to think that it might be like some kind of weird hover thing where you can hover longer. I don't know. I have to look it up. I don't know. Or maybe it follows,
Which is
right,
totally
maybe it
fucked up
follows
because there's no hover
aviation rules.
vehicle that's gonna be able to have like tight turn like a land vehicle.
Then maybe it follows the same rules as like a mini plane, like those little Cessnas. I don't know, but they
You
technically
hit a
go on sale
gust on a
next
bridge
year.
and you go, woo!
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All
All
right,
right.
so
Well,
let's
Jerry,
leave
I hope
on woo.
yeah, I hope you don't blue screen your car. Like I hope the same thing that happened at the beginning of the podcast doesn't happen to your car.
Oh,
Like, oh shit, I'm late to work. All right, let me get in my car. Ah, fuck. Windows has to update for 45 minutes. Great.
hang in there. We're almost done. Motherfucker.
Oh
Oh my
man,
God,
that's gonna be
the
when you're going like
soundboard
90 on a highway and your car decides to reboot.
in
Which, by the way,
Discord.
has happened to Teslas.
Oh my God,
What is this? What is Discord updating now?
Jerry, the soundboard can be customized now.
Wait, oh, really?
In Discord? What soundboard? I don't know.
Oh,
The
yeah.
fuck?
You could just add a sound and look at
This
that.
stuff, that stuff.
I don't even know how you do
That's the
that.
default.
Yeah.
Like I'm seeing
Oh,
all these different all my different Discord servers like coming up with all these sounds.
Yeah, you could
I
just
only have the basics. That's the only I
upload a sound. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You found it.
yeah,
All
but I
right.
only have ad sound. Oh God, no. What have you done? Why did you tell Jerry about that?
That's
Oh my God.
he's
I could upload the
Okay.
it's just me.
oh my God.
Oh God. Okay, this is where we need to end the podcast very quickly
Yeah,
before
it's
Jerry starts
turning
uploading
stupid.
shit.
I mean, we're getting
Yeah.
silly.
Oh yeah, yes,
Well,
yes,
have
the
I
highbrow segment of this podcast is now concluded. Thank you for coming.
have I put
Oh,
have I put the new
excuse.
mic to test with the look at what's happening to me?
Oh,
No,
enough. You're already at the end of every episode. So you don't need to
that
say
was
more.
a hard no.
Yeah, yeah. Now excuse me while I take out my monocle and we wrap this podcast up. But I think we've run the course. Anyway, sorry. I feel like I've totally like hijacked this podcast though.
It was
This
good
episode.
information.
Yeah, you guys need to. You guys need to. I'm gonna just sleep through the next one. I'm gonna let you guys fight it out. So find something you two disagree on. I don't know.
You
Kevin's
know
got
me,
like
I'm
animal
passive
love.
until you trigger something, and then I'm like a freaking info dump on stuff.
I mean, that's good. That's what it should be. All right, I'll find something to set you off. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think we'd have some conversations if you finished that fucking book.
Or the other movie, or the movie, or the movie,
Yeah, or
or the movie.
or Ahsoka, or The Last of Us, or
Yeah, right.
anything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Stop living life and enjoying it. Go watch some goddamn
Yeah, I
TV.
guess that's what it is, really.
Yeah.
All
Anyway,
right,
you guys
so
got some closing
ending.
thought? No, you
Yeah.
guys got some closing thoughts? Come on, man. Closing thoughts. What do you got there? Jerry, I'm gonna start with you. What do you got?
My closing thought is enjoy the daylight while you have it, because it's going to be daylight saving time soon, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
going to suck.
days are getting
Oh, that
shorter. That
is,
is a good point.
yeah. Also,
Yeah.
we're gonna skip a week, or maybe you guys will do one because next week I'll be away on my anniversary vacation.
Oh, okay. I'm sure Jerry and I will totally not watch Cocaine Bear.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
No, we won't watch it without you.
No, we've avoided that.
We've waited this long. We can wait a couple of
We
weeks
really
more.
have to, when the next time we do a watch a show night, we really gotta just fire that one up.
Yes, we do. All right, Kevin.
True.
So, what's your closing thought besides that? You
Come
think
on, I just created
we
a
gotta watch Cocaine?
closing thought for you.
Okay, fine.
Well,
Closing.
I
Okay.
mean that doesn't do anything for the listener.
Oh, okay.
It
Fuck. I got
was
a
a
closing
public
thoughts.
service announcement. We're gonna miss it next
Oh,
week.
okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. That's a good closing thought. Mine is uh, if you're gonna join a cult, buy higher quality banners.
That's a good one.
Invest in good materials and quality ink if you're going to be supporting a cult, so that you don't have to keep, you know, replacing them every fucking week.
But
There
wait,
you go.
why wouldn't we want to create a business that sells cheap signs to the cults specifically so that they have to keep churning their capital into stupid shit where they
Because
look dumber and we
China
take
already
their
does
money
that.
away?
China already does that.
Oh,
We
that's true.
can't manufacture that many
Oh, I
things
forgot
because
we can't compete with that
yeah,
shit. All right,
exactly.
thank you.
We're
You set me straight.
we're all yeah, we're all doomed. Anyway, all right, gentlemen, it has been a pleasure as always. I'm going to go fall asleep somewhere near a
Likewise.
child that is going to
And
cough into my fucking
soon.
face.
Mm.
And so, yeah, wish me the best.
Have fun with your germs.
I may or may not wake up tomorrow covered in crust and sneezes and coughs. It's going to be amazing.
Hot shower.
That sounds
Steaming
awesome.
out.
Children are a gift from God.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, Skippy.
Good night.